All right, here we go, guys. Welcome to tonight's hangout, right? Where we're gonna be talking about a lot of cool things, man. Me and my wife have been working kind of behind the scenes, trying to do something different, right? Just trying a couple of different experiments that we've been doing, kind of tweaking here and there. And while doing all that, I guess by accident or intentional, right? We've kind of engineered how to create a movement from scratch, okay? And how to get 15 to 20 people that actually rally behind you, right? That actually start, that you actually pique their interest, right? And they kind of get interested in the movement that you have to offer, right? Now, a couple of things that I want to talk about, which, by the way, this hangout's not going to be a very long hangout, right? It's going to be like anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Some of you guys are probably asking, where's my wife, right? And my wife she's just not feeling 100%, right? But overall, she's still here. She's still working behind the scenes, and she wished she could be here, right? But sometimes that happens, right? And the great thing about this is that when you're able to work from anywhere, and you're not really working a place where they demand you to be there no matter what, regardless of your health conditions, right? You have the liberty to do things like this, right? She doesn't have to be here. If she's really sick, she can just stay out because of the fact that the ability to work from home, right? Which is really the ideal lifestyle. I just came back from playing outside. I was playing some basketball, and now I'm here, right? I'm here, really, about to share with you something really powerful. So what are we going to talk about in this hangout, right? I want you to really pay attention, and whatever you're doing, I really want you to just focus in and zone in on what I'm going to be sharing with you, right? What I'm going to be sharing with you is how to get 15 to 20 real people that are interested in a movement. Well, first off, let's talk about what a movement is, right? And a movement is anything. A movement is something bigger than yourself, right? Something that brings people together, right? With one goal, one vision, one message that these people rally behind a leader or a visionary. In this case, it would probably be you if you started, and people actually fight towards this common goal. And let me share a little bit about that. When you have a common goal, when you're fighting towards something together, when you're united, and when you're fighting for something bigger than yourself, you attract a lot of people who want to do that. Why is that? Because people are seeking that, right? They're seeking that out there, whether they're doing it secretly or whether they're looking to start a movement of their own, right? But for some reason, when you do this, people just come together and they kind of connect with you. They connect with the vision. They connect with the message, and they kind of stay glued together, right? Now, I want to share with you why this is powerful. This is powerful, right, because of this very reason, right? It's powerful because when you start a movement, right, what you're really starting is it's like you're kind of igniting a fire within your business, right? Some of you guys are on here for your business. Some of you guys are on here because you guys are on our team, right? And what I want to share with you is that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to ignite a fire in your business, right? Which is going to allow you, right, to attract more people, right, that are attracted to that movement. You see, I guess 1 second, right? I actually want to put some water in this cup. Man, I'm really thirsty, right? So here's what we're gonna do, right? Um, I'm gonna get right to it, right? But you see, um, how I'm trying to put this and how I'm trying to word this is why a movement is so important and why a movement is so big and powerful is because, right? I remember when I was younger. When I was younger, I used to see a lot of things used to happen, right? I mean, when I used to come to actually being, playing outside or doing some, extra activities or whatever the case was, right? I used to see that the team that used to win the most, right? The team that would always win probably 100% of the time was the team, right? The team that would somehow be able to connect everybody to a common goal, right? You see this in sports. Right now, the World Cup is happening, right? And you really see this in the World Cup, and this is what I mean, right? You see a lot of people coming together, right? A team coming together, a nation coming together for one common goal, which is what? To win the World Cup. And in doing so, right, and in doing so, there's a lot of commotion that causes. There's a lot of exposure, and a lot of people begin to start to know what's happening, right? Because together, people can take this message and shoot it out to as many people as they can, right? So that's what that's what I'm gonna be talking with you in the next couple of minutes, right? So how am I getting 15 to 20 people per day inside of my business, right? By simply creating a movement. So I'm gonna share with you the movement that me and my wife have created and what's happening right now inside of our business. Okay, is that fair enough? Is that fair? So here's what's gonna happen here, right? The movement that me and my wife have created is called the power couple, right? It's based around transforming average couples into power couples. And how do you do that kind of stuff? Well, it's simple, right? How you do that? This is about the movement. The number one thing that you first have to identify is that there has to be a problem that people are having. There has to be a problem that a certain group of people that can relate with each other are having. So in this case, it's couples. A lot of people, when they get together, when they marry each other, most of them, what they normally do is that they married each other, but they kind of both have separate lives, right? Now, I don't believe that's how they want to live. I just believe that they feel as if there's no other option but to work apart, right? And a lot of people will have one profession and they'll work that profession, and another couple will have one profession and work that profession. Well, anyways, if you take a look at those two professions, right, the goal for them is to obviously bring meat on the table, to bring something on the table, to bring an offering, to be able to have, income, right? So they can both live a very happy and normal life, right? Now, the problem with that is a lot of couples don't have the quality time that they want. A lot of couples are not necessarily growing together because they're not fighting for something that's one vision. They're not building dreams. They're not building what they really want because they're building other people's dreams, right? And on top of that, not only do they not have time for each other, they don't have money. When they do have time to really do the things that they want, right? So they're living in this vicious cycle where even though they're together, in reality, they're really growing apart because they're both chasing something apart now, right? So that's the problem. And the beautiful thing that me and my wife have been able to do inside of our business is that our story is a little different, right? And some of you guys know our story, which is we actually met in the martial arts school, right? And I'll never forget this because I remember I walked in the martial arts school. And, I wanted to learn how to fight, right? Like some of you guys want to learn how to grow your business. Some of you guys want to learn how to take your business to the next level. Am I right? Right? That's the reason why you're here. Well, anyways, that's the reason why I found myself in the martial arts school. I was there because I wanted to learn how to fight. I was there because deep down inside I had this insecurity that I didn't know how to defend myself. And deep down inside I just wanted to feel confident, and I wanted to feel really competent in a skill set, right? And some of you guys are like that right now in your business. Some of you guys feel a little scared and a little afraid. And when it comes to stretching, when it comes to setting big goals, you kind of get a little frightened. And the reason is because you do not feel competent in the skill set as a business person. And I want to assure you, if you stick around to the end of this webinar, then not only are you going to realize how simple this is, but you're also going to realize that you can succeed in business, right? Because if you take a look at myself, you look at me and you look at my wife, and then you kind of wonder, you kind of scratch your head trying to figure out how in the world did these two succeed in business, right? Because we look so young, and some of you guys have been in business for a while. Some of you guys have been in network marketing for a long time. Some of you guys are probably on your 5th or 6th deal, right? And some of you guys still have not found the success that you want, right? So for those people, stick around. And for the people who are succeeding, stick around, because this is not only going to help you quantify your business and quantify what you're already doing, but this is something that you can teach to your team, right? Well, anyways, I found myself in the martial arts school trying to obviously learn how to fight. Well, and in doing so, I'll never forget this. I met my wife, and she actually happened to be the sensei, right? She was a sensei, and she was going to be the one who actually was going to teach me how to fight, right? And it's funny because in the beginning, I didn't really understand how a woman can actually teach me how to fight. And my wife is actually a 3rd-degree black belt, right? And obviously, she's not only experienced in how to fight, but she's a professional when it comes to the martial arts. Sorry, excuse me, I burped. But she's a professional, right? Meaning she's dedicated a lot, most of her life towards learning a certain skill set, which in this case is fighting. Well, anyways, to fast forward that story, Somehow I fell in love with her. We both fell in love with each other, and I found myself running a school with her. I found myself being with her every single day, and it wasn't like normal relationships. A lot of relationships normally what happens is that you kind of date and see each other on the weekends, right? But me and my wife happen to see each other every single day. So, normally couples kind of date for a couple of years before they actually propose and then they actually get married, right? But I happened to propose, like 8 months into a relationship. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I did that. I did that, one, because I was spending every single day with her. So I got to know her a lot faster than what a lot of people normally would if they're dating regularly, right? And because of that, I knew what I wanted, right? And some of you guys are on here, right? And I can assure you that if you take this serious, and if you take your business serious, and if you decide and make a real decision that you're going to spend, every single day making sure that you get better and better and better, I can promise you, right? I can promise you that if you do that, right, what's going to happen is that you're going to develop this skill set way faster than somebody who doesn't take it serious, way faster than the person that puts a couple of hours every day, way faster than the person that actually touches their business on the weekends, right? If you will dedicate yourself to actually doing whatever it takes and spending the little time or probably all the time that you have into actually understanding how to do this, you will become a professional way faster than if you just did it on the weekends or if you just did it a couple of hours. Well, anyways, I decided to get all in, and I proposed to her 8 months in. I think over 90 days later, I got married, right? And what happened, right, is that, most of our life, me and my wife never experienced being apart from each other. When we were running the martial arts school, what was the common goal? Well, the common goal was that we were both building a business together, right? And every time the business grew, our income grew, right? The goal was to inspire as many students and to help them become the best them, right? And, we always worked towards something that was powerful. Therefore, not only did we grew in love more, but we grew together and we enjoyed every single time, right? A lot of people sometimes think that if you're always constantly hanging out with each other, you kind of get bored. Which in a way it's true, but in reality it's not true. Because if you're fighting towards something, then it's never boring. If you're fighting towards something, then it's always exciting. If you're fighting towards something, it's always adventurous, and you never know what's going to happen. Therefore, it's probably one of the most exciting and the most coolest experience that you can ever experience, right? So I just want to kill that. I just kind of want to say that for a second, right? Well, where I'm going with all of this, right? Why am I telling you my life? Is because we've experienced something that most couples haven't. We decided to solve a problem that's happening in the marketplace. And not only did we decide to solve a problem that a lot of couples are having, but we decided to rally around this problem, right, by developing a vision that solved this problem. All right, these are the necessary steps to being able to build a movement and build something more powerful than yourself that gets people to start rallying around you, right? For some reason, right? Just in anything, we always for some reason want to associate ourselves with something that's significantly big, or something that, or associate ourselves with something that represents winning or represents some type of image that we're looking to either validate our own image, or we're trying to restore our image, right? I was reading this cool book, right? And in this book, right, what normally happens is that when a lot of people like to associate themselves with things that represents winning, or represents some type of magnificent result, or something that represents just something that's cool, right? Something that makes people likable, right? Well, in doing so, right, when people link themselves or associate themselves to these kind of things, right, it's only because, right, deep down inside, they feel as if they haven't achieved certain things in their life that make them feel, that create an image that makes them feel great about themselves. So what do people normally do? They attach themselves to something that's big. So for example, right, the World Cup is happening right now. The World Cup is happening right now. So each country represents a nation that they're in, right? Like I was watching the Spain versus Chile, right? And I was watching Brazil versus Mexico, right? Well, these teams, they're obviously fighting for the World Cup, right, which is the end in mind. But you have a lot of people who, even though they don't play the game, even though they're not themselves the players, right? They want to represent that team. They want to represent their nation, right? And they're doing so because they want to be part of something bigger than themselves, right? Even when a team wins, that country and those people feel great. They validate their own superiority, and at the same time they validate to others that they represent something bigger than themselves, right? So here's where I'm going with this, right? I want you to pay attention because I am going with this. I'm going with this, right? I need you to pay attention right now, right? Where I'm going with this is that even though people will go out, out their way to create to align themselves with something that's bigger than themselves, right? Even if it causes a superficial feeling, right? Because even though the Brazilian team is winning and scoring goals for their country, it's not really their accomplishment, right? It's the soccer team's accomplishment, right? And guess what? People want to do that, right? So when you create a movement, that's what you're doing. I want you to picture that for a second. I want you to imagine, right, that what you're creating and what you are represents a team in the World Cup, right? And what you want to do is you want to create a movement that attracts a nation, that attracts people towards this movement, right? Now, this movement can be created out of scratch, but you first must understand a certain problem that's happening with a certain group of people, right? When you do this, this is called target marketing, right? Which we've talked about it several times. And the reason why we continue to talk about it, oh man, that's like a bug, a big bug, right? Is because when you target a specific group of people, here's what happens. It's a really amazing thing. And what happens is that you know exactly what they're going through. So because you understand their problems, you understand who they are as a people, you can talk like them. And when you talk like them, people automatically perceive you as if you were them. Therefore, there's likability attracts themselves to you. Okay, so um, you know, I'm not gonna talk for too much longer here, right? I wanted to make this fairly quickly, right? But here's let me see something real quick, right? I want to see something real quick, right? And okay, this is big, right? This is really big. Which, by the way, we started this movement, right? We started this movement like about 3 days ago, right? The Power Couple movement. And in these 3 days, if I correct, we've been able to generate, right, over 300 followers, and every single day we're getting 15 to 20 people who are rallying behind us. Okay, how do you get 325 people to begin following a movement, right? It's simple. It's simple. I want you right now. All right, I'm gonna get a cup of water real quick, right? And for the next 2 minutes, I want you to write down the movement. A couple of things. First, I want you to ask yourself, who do you relate most to, right? Who can you relate to somebody? What can what specific group of people can you relate to, and what's the problem that they're having? And from the problem, I want you to create a movement. I want you to create a vision that solves that problem. And not only does it solves that problem, but that vision is attracting. It's attractive enough that when it solves people's problems, it gets them to want to do the same thing. It gets them to reciprocate what you've been able to do to them, and they do that, and they try to help others accomplish the same thing. Okay, so go ahead right now for 2 minutes. Go ahead, jot this down. Right. I want you to create a move. Figure out who are you most relatable to. Who are you relatable to? Right. And I want you to understand what problem is that specific group of people are having, and I want you to create a vision around that. Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna get a drink of water, and I'll be back. Uh, 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 8:30, 8:35. All right, cool. So for the people who are just just getting in here, right? You have like 60 seconds, which is how to create a movement, right? Figure out what group of people you can relate to. Figure out what the problem is, and create a vision around it, right? Create a movement around that problem that solves, and your vision solves that problem, right? So we're gonna go here for 60 more minutes, and then we're gonna get right to it. Let me see something here. Pretty exciting. Okay, wow, this is good. It works. Wow, nice, 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 nice. Okay, so we're gonna get right to it here. And let me see something. Wow, wow, that's powerful. Okay, cool. So we're back, guys. This is probably gonna go for another 5 minutes, right? If you had that, right? If you did that, right? Here's what I'm gonna let you know. Congratulations. A lot of people will watch this, right? And they won't take any action. They won't do it. They think it's stupid, and they won't do it, right? And guess what? If you think it's stupid, well, guess what? You're going to continue to feel stupid because you're not going to get the results that you want, right? I'm being honest with you and I'm being serious with you, right? I really want you to succeed, and the only way you're going to succeed is by actually taking action on the advice that I'm giving you, right? And the advice that I'm giving you is not it's not something that I'm not doing myself. It's not something me and my wife are not doing. It's something that we've done and that we're doing, and that's going to blow up, right? We know this because it's happening in just the last 3 days. It's what's been happening, right, babe?
Absolutely.
Right? So guys, 5 more minutes, and in these 5 minutes, I'm going to close out. I'm not going to be very long today. I got to get on a members hangout in the next couple of minutes, right? But if you're on the team, right? If you're on the team, right? If you're in Power Quantum, right? And you're tired of not getting the results that you want in your business, right? Then I suggest, right? I suggest that you upgrade right now, right? Everything you need is inside the courses, right? And if you don't have the courses, guess what? Guess what? It's not my fault, right? It's your fault because you're not willing to invest into your education, right? I'm gonna pop something up here, right? No, okay. So how do you do this? Let's see. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, right? If you're watching this, right, I'm gonna shoot something up here. It's gonna pop up any second, so just pay attention here. And let me just write this out here. Right? So, if you're watching, right, here's what I want to let you know. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for an invitation? Just do it, man. Just get it. Just get it up and running, right? And that's the reason why we're here. We're here, right? Because no, that's not it, right? It's a button. It's right here. I'm guessing. I don't know. So hopefully this works, right? Sign up today. We'll do that, and open a new tab, right? And we'll display it, right? So there it is, right? So if you're watching right now, there's something that just popped up, right? And for the next 3 minutes, right, here's what we're going to do, right? Anybody who decides to get in within the next 3 minutes, what I'm going to do with you, right, if you take action, I'm going to spend 15 minutes with you. And what we're going to do is that we're going to brainstorm, right, together. We're going to brainstorm how we can create a movement of your choice, how you can create a revolution around this movement, right? So the next people will get in the next 3 minutes. This is limited, right? This is a very limited offer, right? For the people who get in within the next 33 minutes, right? Which, by the way, right, just get in. Just get in. What are you waiting for, right? And if you're already a Power Quantum member, I don't know what you're waiting for, right? But just get in, man, right? And what I mean by that, if you're listening, you're a Power Quantum member. Here's what I mean, right? If you're not, you have to get all in, because when you don't get all in, here's what's going to happen. You're incomplete. And when you're incomplete, there's no amount there's nothing that you can do to really succeed in anything. When you're playing a game and you're missing something, you're missing a certain key or a certain puzzle to that game, you're incomplete. And because you're incomplete, you can't finish the masterpiece that you're building, right? And some of you guys are on here, and you guys have been Power Quantum members, and I don't know what you're waiting for, but you have to just get all in, guys. Get all in right now. And some of you guys are not members, which is fine, but I'm going to tell you the same thing. Get in. And get in, because this is what I can promise you. When you get in, you're going to get quality training and information that's going to catapult your business, catapult your vision, catapult anything and everything, and it's going to allow you to develop a skill set that you're going to become very competent, which is going to build confidence, which is going to allow you to produce the results that you want, right? So we have 60 seconds left, right? And I want you to just get in now, right? Just get in, right? Get in right now, okay? And I'm not going to do this for very long, right? I'm not going to do it for very long. And the reason why I'm not going to do it for very long is because, you know, I got things that I need to do, right? Me and my wife are obviously starting this movement, right? And that requires our time, right? And we're not going to spend time with people who don't want to invest. We're not going to spend time with people who just rather, you know, just rather not do it, right? It's fine. If you want to do it on your own, right, you can go ahead and do it on your own. But here's what I'm going to let you know. It's going to take longer. You're going to have to fail and make mistakes that you necessarily wouldn't have to go through if you just locked arms with us, right? And you know, you wouldn't have to go through that, right? The fastest way to where you want to go is going to come through mentorship, right? It's going to come through somebody who's paved the road. It's going to come through somebody who's made the mistakes for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have to do anything. Now, that doesn't mean that you're just going to push a button and all of a sudden you're going to get the results that you want. But what that does mean, what that does mean is that you have the opportunity right now. And by the way, the window is closing every time that I'm speaking, right? Have you ever watched the movie The Mummy, right? The Mummy, right? Well, in that movie, right, towards the end of that movie, there's this like guy who's trying to he's like in this room filled of gold and filled of treasures and all these things are just shining in front of his eyes, right? Well, he's trying to pick up all this gold and he's trying to put it in his bag, right? And as he's trying to put it in his bag, what's happening is that this door is starting to close. This door is starting to close, right? And you know, he knows it's closing, right? But here's the deal. He's stuck on trying to hold on to things that don't matter. He's stuck on trying to hold on to things that, honest to God, are going to hold him back. And as this door is closing down, he finally realizes at the end of the door, right, that as it's coming to an end and as he can only see just a little bit of the outside, and he kind of runs towards that door. He runs towards that thing that's closing, right? And as he's running, he tries to slide. As if you're playing baseball, you try to slide to try to get underneath. But then he realizes that if he does that, he's going to get squashed. So he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it. And he gets stuck there for the rest of his life. And some of you guys are like that right now. Some of you guys know that you need to make the decision and just go right now and just get in. But you guys are holding on to the past. You're holding on to things that, well, you know, I've done this before and it hasn't worked. Well, you know, this is another training that I'm just going to have to pay for it and I'm not going to get where I want to go, right? I want to let you know that if you continue to live your life that way and you hold on to things, that you're never going to get to see the other side. You're never going to be able to get underneath that doorway. Because that doorway, my friends, if you don't make the decision, is closing right now. And guess what? You have to make a decision. And you have to choose to either let go of the things that hold you back and run and get underneath that door before it closes and get to the other side that you want to go, that your family deserves, that you deserve. Or hold on to the things that are not going to give you anything in life and that you're not going to be able to use. So you have to choose.